Hello, I'm Chris Scher, Member Communications Director of the Society of Broadcast Engineers. Welcome to the SBE WEBxtra, the SBE chapter of the web. This is a monthly SBE meeting, usually held the third Monday of the month. The SBE is the Association for Broadcast and Multimedia Technology Professionals with nearly 4,000 members, mostly in the U.S., but also around the world. Some 20 years ago, the SBE program of certification expanded its coverage of technical skills to include those working in broadcast and media who did not work on the transmission or regulatory side. Similar to the Certified Broadcast Radio Engineer and Certified Broadcast Television Engineer certifications, the Certified Audio Engineer and Certified Video Engineer certifications require someone to have 5 years of experience to apply. The SBE certification exam is essentially the CBRE or CBTE without the RF and FCC sections. With more people entering the field of media production, the same broadcasting technical skills are being applied in corporate video, houses of worship, streaming, and media installations. Now those new to the field have a way to show their skills with the SBE Certified Production Technologist level of certification. Our guests today are Ralph Hogan, the chair of the SBE Certification Committee, and Kenny Elcock, a member of the SBE Certification Committee. They both will give us all the details on this new certification level, as well as some of the background into SBE certification. But first, I have the SBE member update for December 16, 2024. Speaking of certification, the Diamond Project is still underway. If your SBE certification lapsed before January 1, 2023, you can reobtain it without taking an exam. Get the details at sbe.org/diamondproject. The next chapter exam window is in February. The application date for those exams is January 3rd, that's 2025. You can also arrange to take an SBE certification exam at any time via private proctoring. More information on SBE certification is online at sbe.org/certification. And as the year winds down, you might find you have a little extra time during the holiday break. You can always access the entire library of webinars by SBE. Take a look at all the available webinars at sbe.org/webinars. Remember, if you hold SBE Member Plus, you have unlimited access to all the webinars by SBE. You can search the webinars by topic as well to find what you're looking for. And another reminder that the Society of Broadcast Engineers released the broadcast station self-inspection guides for AM, FM, and TV broadcast stations. These guides are designed to aid stations and alternative broadcast inspection program inspectors in evaluating a broadcast station's compliance with FCC rules and regulations. The AM version was released in September. The guides are available for free download by SBE and NAB members as a member benefit. Get more information at sbe.org/self-inspection. And that is your member update for December 16, 2024. Our guests on the SBE Webxtra today are Ralph Hogan, the chair of the SBE Certification Committee, and Kenny Elcock, a member of the SBE Certification Committee. Welcome to you both. So we're talking a lot about certification stuff today, and specifically the new level of certification that was announced just about a month ago, just before Thanksgiving, the Certified Production Technologist. But before we jump into that, let's get to know the two of you a little bit. Ralph and Kenny, I guess we'll start with Ralph. Tell me a little bit about your involvement with the SBE certification program.
I've been, actually, I'm currently the National Certification Chair for SBE, and I've been in that position for 10 plus years. I don't remember exactly what the start date was. And I kind of administer, along with the certification director, the program, and I call meetings of the committee, and we make changes to the program and review the database that we use for the exams and update the questions and review the questions in the database to ensure that they're still current and timely, and add new content when it becomes available. One of the things that's always a challenge is, because the technology moves along so quickly, is to keep the database current. So we do have things that slip by, and generally the people who take the exams catch those items when they show up on their test and let us know about it, and then we take and correct those those particular questions in the database.
So, for instance, perhaps in a multiple choice exam situation, there's obviously one right answer and one that might be close, but you probably get feedback that says, I think these two answers are too close to both being true, for as one example of some feedback you get.
That's not as much today as it used to be. I think they
Okay.
purged a lot of those older type questions out. The thing that we have now more so is just the currency of the questions. People uh, have a multiple choice answers in a question, and they find that uh, what's in the question is not something that is currently utilized as
Mhm.
much anymore. So they have a tendency to speak up and say maybe this should not be part of the question pool any longer.
Gotcha. Time to retire the question because it's,
Time to retire.
call it antiquated, if you will. Not a lot of splicing blocks and cart machines anymore, right?
No, and hopefully we've eliminated all of those
Yeah,
questions, but
pretty sure we
occasionally
have. Good.
something slips through.
Excellent. Kenny, how about you?
I think this opportunity has probably been one of the most rewarding for my professional career. I've been an active member in SBE for many moons. You can see the gray hair on my face, so it definitely tell you how long I have been a member. But as part of the committee, I've been probably a real active participant for about 3 to 5 years. I'm like Ralph, I can't remember the time, but it definitely serves as a value personally, and it's definitely a value professionally. And here's why, just like what Ralph says, right? It allows me to, number one, be an active change agent within the field, especially with some of the evolution of how technology has become. Rob's correct. The technology changes every day. And one of the challenges with certification is to really be relevant and to be relevant in the various fields. We've all seen our industry evolve. And it's constantly evolving. The skill sets, the discipline is evolving. And we'll talk more about that later. But for me, it really helps to be a voice where these types of questions within the database or the skills and to be really um, relatable to what's relevant in the industry today. And that's one of the challenging things because number one, you want to become an SBE member, yes, for a professional opportunity. We all want that, or we will hope that if you're an SBE member, you look at it on a professional level, but also you want your certification to be relevant in the things that you do on your day-to-day job. And that is one of the things that I hold so valuable because I could be that voice. I help to be that voice at times.
Excellent. Well, it's good to have you on the committee. As a past committee member myself, I can appreciate a lot of what you just said. So that's great. So the main focus, as I said, is the new Certified Production Technologist CPT certification. But maybe before we talk specifically about that, we get into some of the background, how it came to be, and maybe even a little bit about the process of developing a new certification. Who wants to lead that off? Ralph, Kenny?
I,
You know, look, Ralph, you want me to, or you can?
I'll start this off. The certification program actually was adopted in 1975. So it's actually the program certification's been around for quite a while now, and we have a number of different levels of certification. We have what we call the Core Four, which are engineering certifications, and it's a mouthful of acronyms or abbreviations for the different levels. So I'm not going to repeat them all, Chris, unless you think it's necessary.
No, but the technologist, broadcast engineer, senior engineer, and professional engineer, maybe the shorthands of the four and the core four. So
That's what our program is built upon.
yeah,
We have that, and as things evolved over the years, we've realized that in certain uh, of those four uh, categories of the core four, there's certain specialties that people have delved a little deeper into, and we've come up with specialist additions to those certifications, like the VSB, AMD, um,
aim directionals.
ATS3,
Yeah.
which is our newest one, and DRB, which basically covers television, the new standard, uh, next gen TV, and digital radio. So we added a little plus to the core four, and we also have identified that not only do we have RF engineers who are basically these engineers that we're talking about right now, but there's also people who are at the studio and in production facilities who take and work in those areas that not routinely deal with regulation or RF matters. So we created two other certifications, CEA and CEV, which are the video and audio certifications that don't have any RF or regulatory information in the exams to allow those people to uh, express their knowledge of their craft and being certified. We've also have gone to in I guess it was around 2000, we started the industry was taking off with IP uh, and networking. So we started
Mhm.
a networking technologist certification, CNT, and then as that progressed and became more knowledgeable about networks and networking, we created a certified network engineer exam, which is a much more in-depth than just basic networking technologies.
Mhm.
And from there, we've gone to our CPT. So that's kind of the evolution of where we've gone, how the program has grown over the years, and the way that the society has tried to keep up with the technology as it's changed through the years to maintain currency and, as Kenny said, relevance to the what's the knowledge of the individual in the
Mhm.
workplace.
Sure. So the certified broadcast technologist is our entry level of certification. Has no work requirement or experience requirement to apply for that. And as you mentioned in the core four, CBT leads into the broadcast engineer and so on, which has 5 years of experience. Tell me about how the certified production technologist came in as far as a lead in to the audio engineer and video engineer certifications.
Kenny?
So it came in as the chatter within our members. They have loudly shared some of the needs, which is they've realized a lot of our newer members, they are in the non-regulatory environment, right? Um, but their work duties, it's really kind of interesting because you could look at YouTube now and you look at some of these other streaming solutions and streaming platforms, and you see tons of content out there,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And some of them are quality productions, and some of them are okay, well, a little bit, questionable, at least. So, and a lot of our members are active, number one, which is really kind of cool, right? Content creators slash engineers, right? Or content creators slash technical personnel. So they're really doing a combination of the two skill sets. So the chatter came about to really try to create an opportunity for number one, a learning type of a certification, and then a qualification certification, right? Just like some of our other entry level, whereas yes, it's not heavy in the regulation, but it's an opportunity when you go through the process, when you go through the certification, you learn something. And then once you pass certification, you really feel good at qualified what you learn. And some of the things that I think became valuable within the certification, it hits some of the core things right now in the streaming platform and some of the core tools. And some things like OBSs, right? The ability
Mm.
to go ahead and take a camera or and your audio solution, combine them in some shape or form, and then stream it on a YouTube or stream it on Twitch or stream it in some of these other platforms, which for some is easy, and for others who may just are starting off and want to learn how to do it. The really cool thing about the certification again is yes, it's relevant, right? Because a lot of our members are actively participating in this new world of just like we're doing right now, a podcast, right? They're actively participating, and some of the tools that they use are so varied, so vast. Um, they want to know how to combine it, how to simplify it, how not to spend, $20,000 on broadcast gear, but to do with the same things that some of the other, competitors out there are doing for $10 or $20. So I think that's again, number one, the excitement. Number two, the ability to go ahead and create an opportunity for those to learn and then to qualify what they learn. So we listen. That's what, again, I have to get excited because number one, I'm just not actually one of those guys, but it is excited and it is an exciting opportunity that we could provide for our members. And it shows that we as an organization, we're members of the committee, but then SBE as a whole, we're listening and we're evolving, right? And we don't know where this certification is going to go, but we're listening to our members to say, hey, there is a need, there is the opportunity there, and we want to make sure we support them.
Got it. So as you noted, there are people who are outside of the broadcast ranks who are producing this media content, whether it's audio or video, and not just YouTubers. I mean, houses of worship,
Hmm.
corporate video,
Well said.
plenty of those kind of outlets that are using the same tools or the same skill set, and in some cases the same tools, even same software and hardware to accomplish what we've been doing on the broadcast side for decades now.
Right, right. It's made it easier. The tools out there have definitely made it easier. We could argue or we could question the quality, but one of the things I learned in this business is content is king, and people want to generate content. Content creators slash technical skills personnel
Mhm.
want to generate the content that you just said it, all those pillars that you just highlighted. This is where this PPT really shows its value, and I really am trying to encourage all those who are out there because look, if you know how to do it and you know how to do it well, more than likely your content is going to be received in a more vast audience and a greater audience.
Got it. So looking at the CPT, it's similar to our CBT. Kind of hard to distinguish between the B and the P sometimes. Bravo and Papa. Um, Structured similarly, that there are actually two sides to it. There's an audio and a video side, just like on the Certified Broadcast Technologist. Um, where are these two disciplines, just going under one name, the Certified Production Technologist, where are the questions and where's the knowledge base coming from to establish the skill set for the people taking this exam? Ralph.
I'll take that because
Sorry.
I'm probably more knowledgeable than Kenny where our questions are currently coming from for CPT. We utilize specialists in the field in the industry, and also we utilized or utilize manufacturers, representatives who work with SBE to generate these questions. They're considered subject matter experts, and they submit, or we ask them if they would be willing to come up with some questions that a typical person in the industry might be able to answer and be relevant to their jobs. So that's kind of where the questions come from. The relevance is vetted by the committee. We review the questions before we add them to the database, in most cases, just to ensure that the committee is okay with the questions that are being submitted. We also solicit questions from the membership. We have a lot of members who have had many years of experience and working in the industry, and also keeping up with these new technologies, and also new people coming in to the program with expertise in a particular area. So we ask the membership periodically to contact the certification director and submit questions, and occasionally we get people who submit questions, and they're vetted again through the committee, and once they're approved, then they go into the database. So the program actually sourced through a number of different areas. It's not just any one. So by doing that, we hopefully will maintain the currency and also the diversity of questions in the question pool.
And of course, there are already existing questions that apply to the CPT. So the same question could appear both on a CBT exam or a CPT exam if it fits both situations, correct?
Yeah, maybe I can go into that a little bit, Chris. We have different levels for different types of questions, and some of those questions appear in a number of different certifications just because it's relevant in the knowledge base of the individual should have for that certification. So it's not just a completely different one time for one certification and you never see it again anywhere else. So we reutilize that because it's common. Some questions are common to a number of different levels. So part of the CPT database is going to be, or the exams are going to be generated from existing questions that were already for some of our other entry-level exams. So we'll have those, plus one thing that we've been working on in the past couple of years is trying to get more streaming questions, because the industry is moving towards more and more streaming in addition to their over-the-air broadcast. And certainly those areas that have no transmitters, that are not necessarily broadcast related, but more production content producers, that would be something that they still need to know basic electronics to repair things, and also be able to take and respond to safety and other types of emergencies that might show up in their job site.
Gotcha. Very good. So how often are the questions in the question pool reviewed? What
Continuously.
Okay.
When I say continuously, sometimes we break out sections of the different questions in different parts of the question pool. They're submitted in sections to individual committee members. Those committee members review the questions for relevance and currency, and then they're submitted back to the certification director. We try and keep the integrity of the question database private, so even if we submit questions for review from the committee, they're not seeing the whole database. They will only see a piece of it that they're currently reviewing. So we try and keep that privacy intact. And we've actually gone through a national review, and became certified by a national entity at one time. And that was one of the things they noticed that, or noted in our certification, was that we maintained our integrity of our data, and it was not available to anyone.
Yeah, that was the National Skills Standard Board. I was involved in obtaining that. Unfortunately, the board seems to have gone away. So that was great when we had it. So yeah, I recall that process as well. Tell me about the exam process itself. Obviously, an individual applies to take the exam. That's submitted to the national office. The exam date is established with a local proctor. What does an individual do once he or she shows up to take an exam? How does that work?
You want to try that one, Kenny, or you want me to take it?
Why don't you take it?
Okay.
Because here's
I've
our proctor.
proctored,
So
yeah,
our
I've
proctor
proctored,
varies both
yeah.
locally and nationally. So it's, it's for me, it has not been standard, but go ahead, Ralph.
Well, I've proctored probably hundreds of exams over the years, and we notified the individual that they of the date that their exam is going to be available. There's a number of different ways that the individual can take the exam. We have posted set dates that we give the exams nationally, but also upon request, we can give specially proctored exams. The situation we have for some people is they're not close to an SBE chapter, where normally the chapter certification chair would be the one proctoring an exam for someone taking an exam in a particular chapter. So we work with other individuals. Sometimes we've had professors at schools who work in technology, proctor exams. We've had in the religious area, we've had ministers and others proctored exams. So basically, our proctors are people we trust to be able to take and maintain the integrity of the exams. Once the exam period is established, a proctor is identified. The day that the exam is to be taken, the individual shows up, the exams are sent to the proctor. The proctor, depending on the exam, tells the individual how much time they have to take the exam. Most of our exams are 50 multiple choice questions. Some of the more senior level exams require an essay to be taken also. And we allow open book and internet access for the multiple choice portion of the exam. The essays are closed book because that's actually practical questions. The essays is what an individual should know. And the important thing for the takeaway is that when you fill out your application for an exam, what you put on that application is how your exam is built. Each exam is unique to the individual. So you really don't want to take and put things on your exam application that you have not experienced and you don't have any knowledge of, because that may be the essay question you get that you have no clue. And we've had a couple of people who do that. So I try and caution individuals that
Well
just
said.
put the
Don't
pertinent
pad your
part.
application. That's the
Oh,
wrong place to do it. Yeah.
It's like your resume. You can get, and you certainly don't want to do that with certification.
Yeah.
So once the individual takes and completes the exam and their essay, if they have an essay, they turn their materials into the proctor. The proctor, in presence of the person taking the exam, signs off saying that the person has taken the exam, and the exam is sealed in a sealed envelope and it's sent back to the national office for grading. But that's the basic process of
Sure.
how you go about taking and getting proctored for an exam.
And I think a key is you mentioned it, but I think it's worth repeating for people who say are reluctant to take an exam. The multiple choice question section is open book, open internet. We now allow open notes too. You can bring in your own sheet full of notes. You're not allowed to take any notes out. If you didn't bring it in, you can't take it out, obviously.
That's correct.
But the logic there is it's as important to know where to find the answer as it is to perhaps just know it by rote as well. Is that a fair assumption, a fair analysis?
Yes.
One of the things I
Very
want to reemphasize, again, and this is a plug, and this highlights, I think, one of our success stories is that we are extremely flexible with once we have a proctor, we are very flexible in the time space in administering an exam. So we really try to accommodate those who want to be certified with all of our exams, and that is unique, right? It's so again, I've done exams, on a Saturday. I've done exams on a Sunday. I've done exams after 5 o'clock. I've proctored those. So those are the type of things that I've really, and I've graded. I've graded a lot of them. So I really want to share that again. Really want to reemphasize the flexibility. Not all organizations are as flexible, and we've been mindful that everybody's life, is full of stuff. So the opportunity to really take an exam is once you say yes, we're going to try to accommodate.
great. Yeah, and on the private proctoring side, I know that there have been some people who don't seem to think they can think of anyone who would be a candidate to be a private proctor. By all means, contact the national office.
Yes.
We've got some ideas. Librarians, one that wasn't touched on. As Ralph said, a minister or a chaplain. If you're in the military, a commanding officer or a superior officer, maybe not commanding per se, but there are plenty of opportunities. Heck, maybe even know a school teacher that could
Coach.
substitute for the
Yep.
proctor, sit in for the proctor. You're going to add something, Kenny? Sorry.
No, just add even a coach.
Oh, yeah, there you
Is
go.
available, right? So, I think, yes, what you just said, it's that shows again, our diverse views and how we're looking at this.
Excellent. So
One
anything
thing I'd
else?
like,
Oh, go ahead.
so one other thing I'd like to point out, when in 2020, when COVID showed up and everybody was shutting down and being locked down, our certification program didn't miss a beat. Our certification director came up with a way of doing online proctoring and exam taking. So we maintain the certification program and the exam being taken during the period of COVID when everyone else was kind of slowing down. We just maintained what we were doing, just a different way.
Excellent. And we've mentioned her by title as certification director. That person is Megan Clapp. So get her plug. She's at the national office, and she is a certification director, and she has all the answers for any questions you might have, whether you want to call or email, or of course on the website too. A lot of information, all the applications, all the forms are there as well. So plenty out there. Short answer: don't be afraid to get certified. It's yes, it's an exam, but it's not impossible to do. Anything else on the certified production technologist side that we haven't touched on that we should cover at this point?
I think that we covered everything pretty well.
Okay.
The takeaway, I believe, is that if you feel that you are qualified to sit for that exam, you should go ahead and fill out the application and send it in. It's folded in now with our normal schedule for certification exams. So you just check the website and periodically mailings from SBE about when the cycle is during the year, and just sign up.
Yeah, the next local exams are in February, chapter local exams. The application deadline for that, I believe, is January 3rd of 2025. At least the first days of January, if it's not the 3rd specifically. So great. So I do have some notes on some other certification elements we might want to at least touch on while we have a couple of experts with us. Throughout this year of 2024, the SBE has been observing its 60th anniversary, the Diamond anniversary. And with that, the certification program launched the Diamond Project starting January 1. Tell us about the Diamond Project and what it means for the individuals. Ralph or Kenny?
Ralph, I'll let you.
You want to try it, Kenny, or you want me to take it?
Nope, I'll let you share that one because
Oh, okay. Our Diamond Project is to allow those individuals who have been certified in the past but let their certifications lapse. Certifications are good for 5 years, and you have to maintain the certification. There's a requirement basically to continue education to obtain points, and depending on the level of your certification, the points vary. But those who have not done that and had their certifications expire, the Diamond Project was a way for an individual to recertify by filling out an application and paying their fees without going back and documenting all that knowledge that they needed to do. But they still had to be an active SBE member for most of that time. Some people have retired, during that period, but we're allowing those folks to get recertified also. So this is kind of a one-time deal. We don't do it. This is only second time since the initiation of the program in 1975 that we have done this. So don't count on letting your certification lapse and then catching up, because it may or may not happen again. It just so happens that we felt that since a 60th anniversary was Diamond, that the Diamond Project would be appropriate from certification. So that's how it got started. It was a 1-year program, started January 1st of 2024, and it ends December 31st, 2024. So we only have a couple weeks left
to go. Yeah.
That if you have not already done it and you feel that you are qualified, you need to go ahead and get your application in. That way you can get your certification back. But that's kind of where the program is, and it's winding down at this point in time.
I don't recall if you mentioned it's basically if your certification lapsed before January 1 of 2023, you're eligible for this. I don't know if you
No, I did not
mentioned
mention that,
Okay.
but that is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole crux is you get your certification back. You don't have to take the exam. Just have to submit the application and supporting documentation. So it's for those who are examophobes, whatever the word is, don't want to take the exam. It's a great opportunity to get recertified to the SBE. So that's great.
Yeah, yeah, I just want to add slight color. This is definitely a unique olive branch opportunity for many. I compliment the organization to really say, hey, we understand. Again, this is I'm going to champion again how much we've been listening, that we realized that a lot of our members, they just got busy with life, right? They just got busy with life,
Sure.
and not that they didn't want to certify. Life just happened. So the opportunity presented itself. The organization says, hey, you know, we should do this, is the right thing to do. Um, and we're encouraging members who have not certified to recertify it, because the window exists, and make use of the opportunity. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One other thing that probably is worthy of mentioning, there's two ways of recertifying. One is by coming up with the points, and we have a number of different categories that you gain these knowledge points during the 5-year period of your certification. But if you don't meet that, or forgot to do it, or just don't feel like doing it, you do always have the option of retaking the exam. And if you take the exam, retake the exam and pass it, then you basically maintain your certification.
Mhm.
So there's
And
two ways of doing it.
and in a way, sort of a third. For instance, if you hold certified broadcast radio engineer and you've reached your 10-year experience, take the exam for the certified senior radio engineer, or similarly
yeah.
the television side, because CSRE supersedes CBRE and so on. So you're still taking an exam, but you're advancing your certification at the same time up through, in this case, the Core 4, as we had mentioned earlier. So great. You mentioned exam windows. There are usually, I believe, 4 of those at local chapters throughout the year. We also offer one at the NAB show every year, and all those dates are on the website. Is there anything else on the certification program in general that we should perhaps touch on while we have this opportunity?
Yes, one area that is coming here, been under development for a number of years now, is our Cert Preview program. It's one area of certification that has progressed from basically paper uh, study guide or study test
Sample
through
test, yeah.
floppy disks, through CDs, and now we're actually going to be an online web uh, certification,
Platform, yeah.
the Cert Preview. So, and that's about ready to become active. Once that becomes active, we've eliminated the problem we've had in the past with different platforms, different types of computers, all a myriad of problems with the technology. Since it's going to be web-based now, everyone pretty much has access to a web browser. So it's going to make the Cert Preview uh, a lot easier to obtain and to utilize. Also, being web-based, the database for the Cert Preview is going to be basically a active database. So as questions get added or subtracted or changed, we can make a change to the database and it will be instantly available on the Cert Preview, the web-based Cert Preview. So it's really bringing us into the 21st century compared
That's
to where
great.
we have been in the past.
Yeah, as I understand, it's in its final stages of testing and review before it goes live. Should be live very, very soon. The very, very soon promise.
Yeah, we won't get into that, but we've been trying to get through this program or this process. But as we have people beta testing the the program, we've found different areas at different times, so it has to go back to the developers to be corrected and then come back. So there's a a lot of back and forth, and part of that is what's been delaying the program being released. Is we want to make sure that it's going to be as fault-free as possible.
Sure. No, makes sense. Absolutely. Well, great. So last call. Anything else we haven't touched on in the program of certification and in the world of the SBE?
You alluded to it, Chris, but I just want to reiterate that I want to give a shout out to Megan Clapp. She's the heart and soul of certification.
Yeah, she's our unsung hero. She doesn't get you right. Yeah, she is. Yes.
And not to take anything away from Megan. Yes, she does a fantastic job and holds down the fort and keeps the process running. I'll kind of throw it out to the local chapter certification committee chairs too. Without them, they're their legs. They're the usual proctors. So we certainly want to thank them for all of their work as well in seeing some of the mechanizations going on behind the scenes of certification. But absolutely, Megan deserves the praise as well that she has deserved and earned. So very good. So
One
if
of the
there's
last
nothing
plugs.
else, well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
one of the last plugs. Hence I know we are definitely going to be streaming this. Number one, to show the value of the certification, but I definitely want to open it up to all those that have concerns about certification. And I know it's simple, but anyone who is willing to be certified can be certified. Anyone who's willing to take the tests can take the tests. You know, I think there's many individuals out there who have certification or exam fear or exam anxiety, and we are willing to. There are chapters out there who are willing to tutor and hold hands, right? They said again, this is one of the uniqueness of SBE, you know, and we have evolved, with it. So helpless plug again. For all those who are out there, please explore the opportunity. It is definitely a professional opportunity. I have been blessed because of this opportunity. So I'm championing anyone out there who has viewed this to participate, be an active participant in the certifications.
Great. Well said. Well, if we don't have anything else to cover, I'll thank both of you for being with us today on the SBE WEBxtra, the SBE chapter of the web. Final thoughts? If not, we can sign it off. Once again,
Thank you.
Back to you, Chris.
thank you
Aloha.
guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's been great.
Thanks for watching the SBE WEBxtra, the SBE chapter of the web from the Society of Broadcast Engineers, the Association for Broadcast and Multimedia Technology Professionals. Thanks again, Ralph and Kenny, for being with us today. If you hold SBE certification, viewing the SBE WEBxtra qualifies you for 1/2 point in Category G. That's attendance. It's just like attending a local chapter meeting. And if you have an idea for a topic or a guest for the SBE WEBxtra, send it to webextra@sbe.org. Thanks again for watching. I'm Chris Scherer, SBE Member Communications Director. See you next month.